Hey Windsor Light, happy 75th anniversary. Windsor is so lucky to have you guys as I was growing up. I have so many fond memories, starting with choir, with Kathy and Bev, and many friends who are still involved with Windsor Light today, performing, directing. It's very exciting to see. I wanted to give as well one very special shout out to my dear friend Crystal Laframboise, who I'm so excited is going to be Maria in The Sound of Music this winter. And I just want to wish her a million bajillion break a legs. And I can't wait for the world to hear you sing.
Oh, Windsor Light. My name is Emily, for those who don't know me, and I just wanted to come on here because I couldn't be there tonight to send you a huge congratulations and to tell you a little bit about what Windsor Light means to me. It's very cliche, but honestly, Windsor Light is home to me. I've done a little bit of theater since moving away, and I lived in Windsor for many, many years, and I can honestly say that Windsor Light is different in the sense that it is a place that is very welcoming, and it's somewhere that I will always eternally be grateful for making lifelong friends, and knowing that I can come back and audition one day, and it gives me excitement, and it is home to me. So I'm really grateful for that, and just so excited for you guys to have reached this milestone, and really sad that I can't be there tonight. Super special company, and I wish you guys all the best and huge congratulations, and so excited. Can't wait to see all the amazing pictures and the events of the night. Bye everyone.
It was red and yellow and green and brown and scarlet and hey friends, how y'all doing? My goodness, it's been so long. Now, a little birdie told me that Windsor Light is celebrating its 75th anniversary. Now, I have no idea what 75 years is in, like, the typical anniversary gifts, like the paper, the wood. I have no idea. But what I do know is that for a number of years, Windsor Light was like a second home for me, if you will, as I'm sure it is for many of you guys there. Like whether we helping out backstage with costume changes or painting sets, or on stage, where under the sea, or making a miracle as Buddha. I forget the hands, or what I forget even more is trying to spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious with our bodies. Sorry, John Luther. But I can honestly say that I am not only happy, but I'm proud to be part of this legacy, heritage, if you will, the monumental feat of bringing Broadway production to the Windsor area. And from my humble little heart, I also would like to say thank you for Windsor Light for giving me lifelong friends, like people that I know will just always be in my life. So from me here in the GTA to you guys back there, here's to at least 75 more.
So happy when I think of you. The place that I first fell in love with the theater, which is now my whole life, and I owe it all to being on stage as a dancer secretary in How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. And I was trying really, really hard to keep up with all of the amazing dancers in the show. But that was really the beginning for me of what has turned into a long love affair with the theater, and I owe it all to you. I think fondly of my time at Windsor Light, and I loved it so, so much, and will always. Mwah!
Hi, I'm Frank Piazza. I'm a former member of Windsor Light Music Theatre. You may remember me from Grease, Sister Act, and The Little Mermaid. Happy 75th anniversary, Windsor Light.
Hi, I'm Anthony Piazza, and you may remember me from such shows as Grease, The Little Mermaid, Sister Act. Happy 75th anniversary, Windsor Light.
Hello, Windsor Light Opera. Michelle Milner here, coming to you from London. No, it's not London, Ontario. It's London, UK. You can see Greenwich Park in the background. I live near there and the city beyond. So I'm really happy to be able to have a chance to say happy birthday to you. And I've put together a short presentation. Just some of my favorite things and some of my favorite memories and highlights. So off we go. Well, I was doing some cleaning up with Brent recently when I was back in Ontario one time last year, and we found all these fabulous trophies, such happy memories. So he said you were recycling them, and I hope they did get to a good home, because they were great memories for me. I was thinking back to my very first show, which was Hello Dolly, and this picture came from the Windsor Star did a story on me coming as choreographer. And those feet, some of those feet I recognize. I think the ones in the white boots are Sherry's, actually. But Hello Dolly was just a fabulous introduction to Windsor Light. I can't remember how I got the job, if I applied or something, but I do remember going to meet John Watley. And we hit it off right from the start, and we're great friends to this day. But John just said to me, "Look, I don't mind what you do, but I just one request. Please make sure that everyone doesn't fall on the floor at the end of the numbers." And I said, "Yeah, okay." I think the other thing about Hello Dolly was just the scale of the production. So there were so many people, and I remember we had a huge pinwheel. We were rehearsing that in the studio, and Brent was on the very end of the pinwheel. And he said, "Michelle, I'm going to fall off the edge of the stage." So again, fabulous memories. I loved going to the rehearsal hall, and this picture, I just sort of sums it up for me. I loved it because I remember coming in there with an idea for a number, and I'd say, "Okay, we're going to do this, now we're going to do that, and we're going to do this, and we're going to go over here, and we're going to end up like this." And people would look at me and say, "Oh, we're going to do that?" And I said, "Yes, you are." And you know what? By the end, they did. And it was just a fabulous feeling of accomplishment for everybody, I think. I got to work with a lot of people, of course, the fabulous Bill Premin in The King and I. And later on, I started to direct as well. And I was really happy when John, asked me to do that when he was taking that huge dramatic turn as Shay in Evita. So that was one of my favorite shows, Evita. Obviously, my lovely dance partner here, Craig, that was a highlight. And again, having, another different kind of way of working with John, just an excellent production. So many memories. Some of these make me laugh. There's my best friend Sherry and Marilyn there, and we just fabulous happy times there in Guys and Dolls. I suppose one of the funny stories I remember about that is when we were recording at the dress rehearsal, and we were all in that number "Take Back Your Mink," where we rip off our lovely long dresses. And of course, who went 8 beats too early to rip off her clothing? That's right, the choreographer, and that was recorded for everybody to remember. Barnum is another huge highlight for me. Wonderful show. I loved everything about it. I loved everybody in it and working together on it. That number one brick at a time. I always remember that because it just took so much, so much work. And some of the clowns, Jerry Udell and John Entwistle. And I worked them so hard throwing those bricks. But at the end of the day, we got there. I suppose a little confession. I actually don't like clowns very much. But the clowns in Barnum were spectacular. I remember Carol, and I remember how everybody, just worked together, and it was great. But I did have to hide some of the clown presents I got at the end because they scared me a little bit. No, no, and that was another huge highlight for me. There's my wonderful Sherry there in a great role. Who can forget her with that vacuum cleaner and the cigarette hanging out of her mouth? And again, another group number where all the fellas were there with their ukuleles. And I remember again, we were tilting them back and forth. And of course, who couldn't quite get it going the same way? That's right, our friend Don Entwistle. But again, a fabulous, fabulous show with huge, wonderful memories for me. Lifelong friends, as I've said, my dear, dear friends, Tom and Brent, and we went on many adventures after Windsor Light Opera together when we were living in Japan. And of course, all of these dear friends, which I was lucky enough to see the year before last when I was back in Canada. I was worried they wouldn't recognize me, but they did, and it was just really, really touching to see everybody again. I just can't say how much that meant to me, being able to see everybody that day. Oh, but I forgot to say about Jack there, my wonderful dance partner too, because I always remember, and I think it was My Fair Lady, not sure, but we were dancing together, and we got to the end of the number, and somehow I fell, and he fell on top of me. Not a good look, and we were right downstage, but we were very professional about it, and just turned our best faces forward to the audience, and away we went. So I've been in the UK quite some time, and you can see we still like dressing up. Mum and I on a trip to Seville, but you do go and see a lot of historic buildings in the UK. And there's a great picture of my mum and my partner Jeff and I celebrating her 90th birthday on a speedboat on the Thames. You never know when you're going to meet royalty. This was Princess Anne coming to one of the openings of our new building. I don't think she was that interested in what I was saying, actually. So that is really a very quick trip. Um, Windsor Light is just the time I spent there. I just have so many fond memories. I loved it. So many great people that I met, so many great people like Craig Ramsey as well, that, we met in Barnum at first and then worked together in Walkerville. And they've gone on to do such wonderful things in the arts as well, and have great professional careers. So for me, Windsor Light is just got the most special place in my heart. And I wish you all a huge and wonderful happy birthday.